Alright, we're back for the season finale at Phoenix. And I'm not sure how these are gonna pan out next year because, anyway, keys to the race car. Tires like usual. Usually I mention just the rear, but this kind of goes into the corner, out of the corner, center of the corner. Pretty much everywhere you want to keep them from slipping. Number 2, you can see this dog leg here. A lot of people are going to be cutting it. Can be 5 wide sometimes. And yeah, it can get pretty hectic. And number 3 would be just the longest pit road, which when we get to it, you'll see how long it is. And that's really all I can say. You got extra notes over there on the left. You can see what that's all about. Anyways, we're gonna get to pit road, and then we're gonna talk about the lap. Alright, making our way to pit road. We're going to enter turn 1 like normal, then I'll downshift to 3rd gear, and then once we get along this billboard here, I'm going to start turning to the left, and things get kind of crazy and sideways, but down to 45 miles per hour. Obviously, we'll speed this up. Alright, I made an undershot it there. Leave my crew hanging. There's your pit speed exit. Keep it under the yellow or white line, depending what line it is. There's your blue cone. Alright, so contrary to the rest of the season, short track wise, my first lap was the best. And people are doing this weird thing to get a good run coming to the, turn 1 and all that. And that's just basically right the high line a little bit in 4 on your out lap, and then just cut below the line starting your lap. Which you'll see when we play this lap, but only change I made was, shit, I didn't make any changes. I just lowered the brake bias down to 45.3. Now, before we get to that lap, I'm actually going to show 2 laps because the A-fixed weather is like almost 20 degrees cooler, so those lap times are, I'm just going to say they're way quicker. So I'm going to show both just to have a good baseline. So with that said, we're just gonna get to the lab and then we'll talk about it. So here we go. And there we are for 27.4, which was not my best lap. Probably could have done a little better. Alright, now I'm going to show the other lap. Alright, here's the other lap. This one was actually on lap 2. Alright, there you go for, what was it, 27.1. Anyways, let's back that up and talk about the first lap. Alright, like I mentioned with that weird line that you saw there, we're going to get a good run out of 4 here. And something I didn't really bring up in the keys to the race car, which I'm pretty sure I wrote that down. Yeah, it's rough. When you go down there early in a tire stint, the car can bottom out and do some really weird things, so be as smooth and straight as you're going over it. So let's do that. So here we're coming to start a lap. You can see where I'm at already, close to the pit wall, I guess you can go down to, but I'm going to be slow-mo it because some things are happening here. Alright, I'm already about to release the throttle and I'm getting on the brakes. You can actually see the brakes already being applied. There's cones on the wall and this little dotted thing on the right. I'm using the black logo. Once I'm alongside it, I turn in. So I gotta really slow-mo it. Do some usual trail braking. Here the car gets really light. In this weather, And the cooler weather, not so much, but this weather, the car gets really on edge, and I'm trail braking, trying to bleed speed off because you feel like you can turn, but it won't. So you'll really wash up the track. You can see I'm going to start turning back down here. And that's, of course, like every other week. Once that happens, start getting on throttle and opening up the wheel. And you can see I'm fighting the car a little bit here because any second it can snap the rear. And that's what it's doing. And then once you're out of the banking onto the flat on the straight, things get really intense. So let me pause it here again because I'm looking here on the right. There's a little 2-cone thing. It's kind of blocked by the brace right now, but that's what I'm aiming for. Alright, so I banked it up a little bit to that 2-cone so you can see it better, but I'm already slightly on the brakes. But I'm using that when I'm getting to the 2, I'm hard braking while turning in. And we're aiming for that wall there, you know, the red wall there. You don't want to hit it, obviously, but you want to point the car in that direction. But to do so, you got to really slow the car up. A little more so in turn 1 because we need to get to the yellow line, which I might have missed it a little bit, but you can see I had to force some rotation, so I stepped on the throttle hard. And you want to use pretty much all the track on exit because you try to pinch it down, it wants to snap. Alright, that's it for this track guide. And the final one of the year. And yeah, I'll do these next year. Why not? It's pretty much all I have left to do anyway. So, yeah, I guess. Have a good old off season. We'll see you when we get back to this next year. Or maybe other cars. Just any requests, just send me that. I'll try it. We'll see. We'll see what we got. Anyway, Sim Racing Tree side.